The sea can be a cruel mistress, unpredictable and often unforgiving. But it's also where the strongest bonds are forged, between man, nature, and the unknown. Before we continue, please take some time to subscribe to Dailydose, like, and share this video. The crew of the Golden Delight had been on the water for nearly 2 weeks, navigating isolation, exhaustion, and an ocean that had been stingier than usual with its gifts. Desperate for a catch and running low on supplies, they pushed further into the unknown, into waters less traveled by other fishing boats. It was a risk, but one that would change their lives in a way no one on board could have predicted. Their luck turned around the moment their nets dipped into the deeper waters. They hauled in more fish than they had all season, and soon the ship's storage overflowed with their bounty. Spirits were high, laughter returned to the deck, and even the harsh wind seemed to ease up. For the first time in days, the crew allowed themselves to believe the hard journey had paid off. They were heading home, weary but victorious. But the ocean wasn't quite done with them yet. As they sailed back toward the coast, tired, hungry, and craving dry land, a sharp eye on the deck noticed something cutting through the waves just ahead. A dolphin. At first, no one thought twice. Dolphins were a regular sight out here. But something was wrong. This one wasn't moving like the others they'd seen. It kept surfacing awkwardly, unable to dive, its sleek body twisting unnaturally. Then they saw it. Thick, dark netting tangled around its tail, dragging behind it like an anchor. The celebration stopped. Without hesitation, the captain turned the vessel around. Every crew member knew what it meant to be entangled at sea, and none of them could leave the creature behind. They steered close, watching as the dolphin tried to flee but barely had the energy to move. Whether it trusted them or had simply given up, the dolphin didn't resist when they cast out a net to scoop it on board. It was heavy, exhausted, but alive. They worked quickly, 2 men holding it steady, while another carefully sliced away the netting with a deck knife. In just a few minutes, the rope fell free and the dolphin seemed to wake up, thrashing lightly as if testing its strength. With a final push, they slid the dolphin off the side and back into the water. For a moment, it disappeared. Then a splash, a leap beside the boat. The same dolphin, graceful and free again, was swimming beside them, almost dancing through the waves. The crew stared in silence, then broke into cheers. Whether it was gratitude or a final goodbye, that leap meant everything. A reminder that even in the hardest conditions, the sea gives back when you show it kindness. The dolphin eventually disappeared into the blue, leaving behind nothing but ripples and the stunned silence of a crew that had just experienced something rare, something almost spiritual. For a while, no one said anything. They just stood there, soaking in the moment, the waves gently rocking the boat as if the ocean itself were nodding in approval. As the captain set the course back toward shore once again, the mood on deck shifted. They weren't just fishermen returning home with a great haul. They were heroes of a kind. The ocean had tested them in more ways than one. It starved them for days, pushed them into dangerous waters, and then threw a choice in their path that tested their character. And they passed. News of the dolphin rescue didn't take long to travel. By the time the Golden Delight reached the harbor, word had already reached a few local marine organizations. One of them sent a representative to the dock the next morning to meet the crew. They were interested in hearing the story firsthand and offered to run a follow-up search in the area to ensure the dolphin hadn't sustained any long-term injuries. The crew gladly shared every detail, proud of what they'd done. Local papers picked up the story first, then a few regional media outlets. Soon, a short video clip captured during the rescue, shaky, grainy, and raw, started to spread online. It showed the moment the dolphin was freed and leapt into the air beside the boat. It was a perfect shot, almost like it had been scripted, and people couldn't stop watching it. Comments poured in from all over the world. People called the crew real-life sea guardians, and praised them for valuing life over profit. For the fishermen themselves, it wasn't about the praise. It was about doing what felt right. "We couldn't just watch it suffer," one of them told a reporter. "That's not who we are. We live from the sea, but we also live with it." A few months later, the crew was invited to speak at a marine conservation event in their region. None of them were used to public speaking, but they showed up in their best clothes and stood proudly on stage as their story was retold to a room full of students, scientists, and fellow fishermen. Their message was simple: respect the sea, and it will respect you back. Back on the Golden Delight, life slowly returned to normal. They still went out on fishing trips, still hauled in nets and fought storms and shared meals under the stars. But something had changed. There was a deeper sense of unity among them, a stronger bond not just with each other, but with the water that provided for them. Every time they passed the same stretch of ocean where the rescue took place, the captain slowed the boat. Just for a moment. The crew would gather at the rail and scan the waves, not really expecting to see the dolphin again, but hoping. Because once you've looked into the eyes of a creature that knows you saved its life, you carry that moment with you forever. In the years that followed, the story of the dolphin rescue became something of a legend in the local harbor. New crew members on other boats would hear about it on their first day, and tourists who visited the docks would often ask about the fisherman who saved a dolphin in the middle of a grueling trip. The men of the Golden Delight never sought fame, but they accepted their place in that tale with quiet pride, knowing that their actions spoke louder than any headlines. One of the crew even carved a small wooden sculpture of a dolphin, which now rests proudly in the wheelhouse of the boat, a simple reminder of the day they chose compassion over convenience. And every time they set sail, they passed that spot in the ocean where their paths briefly crossed with a creature in need. They smile, cast their nets, and whisper a quiet hope into the sea. That wherever it is, their dolphin friend is swimming free,